Welcome friends. In today's video, we are going to see what is finally and finalize in Java. We will understand with this one example as well. And we will see what are the error we will get when we declare the method as a final or variable as a final. Let's understand first the definition for this final. So the final keyword can be used to mark variable as a constant, a method as a non-overridable, and a class as a non-inheritable. Means what it means? Once we declare the variable value that becomes constant, we cannot modify that. Then method as a non-overridable means which we declared as a final. That method we cannot override in our subclasses. And class, if we declared as a final, it prevent inheritance. We cannot inherit that class. And so when you want to prevent inheritance for security reason or to avoid changes to core behavior of the class, at that time we will use this final keyword over our class. So there are three use cases for this final in Java. At the we can use over variable, we can use over method, we can use over class as well to prevent altering the implementation of method in subclasses, ensuring consistent behaviors. Means consistent behavior or altering implementation of methods. So we cannot alter the method in subclasses. For that, we can use this final keyword. And then the finally block provide mechanism to execute block of code. So this finally block, what it will do? It will execute block of code regardless of whether an exception is thrown or not. Means we get any error in our application or not. Whenever we want to clean our code, at that time we will use this finally block. Then finalize method. Finalize method, it is deprecated from the Java 9 and we are not using this Java 10 due to its unpredictable or performance issue. But before that use was the finalize method is called by the garbage collector before an object is reclaimed. It used to perform cleanup operation before the object is removed from the memory. When object reference become null, at that time garbage collector are calling this finalize method to reclaim the memory, unused memory in our space. That's the use of these three keywords. We will understand this one by one with the example. For example, we will use first final. When we try to modify the value of the final variable, what happen we are going to see. When we trying to attempt the constant value, we will get the error as a value we cannot assign, that as the variable is final. Let's see here if I am modifying this constant variable value as a 20. So cannot assign value to final variable because it is constant. Variable is a constant. So that is saying us to make final constant is not final. Here if you see we have made this variable as a constant. Then what happen if we try to override this final method? Let's create one class here. Class test I am creating. Test which is extends our, what is our class name? Sorry, this is our class name finalize and final example. Then we will try to override this method inside this. Let's try to declare this method inside this. What happened? Let's see. Display method cannot be override display because the overridden method is final. Means we cannot override method which is final. So let's comment this out. Then next is final class. We will see what happen if we try to override final class. Let's uncomment this itself and we will directly comment out this and we will try to override this class. Just here if you see we are getting error here, cannot inherit from the final because it is saying this class is final. Because to prevent inheritance, we cannot extend this class because it is a final. That is the use cases for this in these three cases. Final keyword we can use for the two constant value we can use final. So method is not overridden in subclasses. So we have seen example for this, and final class is not extendable. Then next is finally block. So here if you see finally block, I have created one example which we are using in try catch block. So when we are trying to divide this 10 by 2, we will get the result here. It will print result, but this code will be executed whether it error occur or not. For example, I will do this 0. In that case also it will throw exception and this block will be executed. Let's run our code first. We will understand this. Then what is the use of finally? Finally block provide mechanism to execute block of code regardless of whether exception is thrown or not. It typically used for cleanup code like database connection closing or something we want at that time. This finally block is executed. So here if you see this block is executed regardless of exception. Let's try to hit exception one here. Let's create one exception. Let's rerun this again. It will now throw the exception, but this block will be executed. If you see this block is executed, we got the exception as well, but this block already executed if error is occurred as well. That is the use case of finally. We can close the database related properties or any cleanup code that we can add in the finally block. Then next is finalize method. The finalize method is called by garbage collector. Let's understand this with example. Here if you see, I have created one finalize demo which protected by finalize through throwable, and this method is called by super.finalize. And here if you see this system.gc we are requesting, that is calling this finalize method, requesting JM for running garbage collector. So this will run the garbage collector, and garbage collector will run this finalize method, which is super.finalize. It is extending throwable class. Let's rerun this example. So here if you see the main method execution completed, finalize method is called from this. So we got this message from here. So in the last, we will say final class prevent inheritance. Classes final, when we use class final, it prevent classes to inheritance. Method prevent method overriding, and variable prevent value reassignment. So these are the use of final. Then finally, block used to try cache to ensure execution of code regardless of exception occurrence. It is useful when for resource cleanup. Then finalize a method called by the garbage collector before object destruction. Deprecated in favor explicit resource management because it is deprecated in Java 9.8 onwards. So we are not using this anymore. That's all from these videos, guys. I hope you have gained some knowledge from these videos. If like the videos, share with your friends. Thanks for watching this video, guys.